Hey there. Welcome to my 10k sub special. Well, I know we're at like 13k-ish, but I still wanted to do it anyway since I also did one for my 5k special. For this video we will be taking a step backward and looking into all the kinds of videos I've made in the last 3 years. Let's start, shall we? Timor-Leste in a nutshell. So this is the very first country ball mapping video I've ever uploaded in my channel. This is just one of the most memorable and nostalgic parts of my channel since it paved the way for me to create more mapping and country ball content. This video was just made out of nowhere because I was feeling goofy at the time and saw the SEA Games memes back in 2019. But because of that, my one video, that became the start of a 4-year-long thing in my channel. Because of that video, I found a permanent type of niche for my channel, which I never really figured out well over the years. Two. AFOSEA Season 1 Finale. This one is one of my longest, if not the longest video I've ever made. This one took me at least a month to make, and came with a lot of preparation. When I was writing a script for this episode, or movie if you like to call it, I just had too many ideas in mind and what I envisioned to happen. You can see there were like so many elements to it: the battle in the moon, the warm-ups, the cutscenes. It was all well pieced. As you can tell, there were 2 endings, a fake one and real one. The fake one was actually where I was supposed to stop, though I figured it would be a very boring ending if they all just died and went back to the beginning. That's why I added another part, which is why the ending might have looked weird. Overall, I didn't like the process at all. It took a considerable amount of time to create, and exporting the whole thing took 8 hours since I still had a crappy computer. To be honest, my favorite part was the live stream. It was really hyped. That was the most amount of viewers I've had ever in a premiere, and I think that was enough to pay back the effort I did for the video. I just loved how the people enjoyed the finale episode so much, and seeing how crazy they reacted to the plot twists made my whole week. Three. Squid Game Country Balls. Another one of those unexpected videos that I have created. So I released this during the Spooktober season and I saw how Squid Game was so popular and I figure I would create my spin of it using, well, country balls. It was one of those videos I didn't knew would be as successful, but here we are. It only took me 2 hours to make. I was just trying to do a demo kind of video, but then it turned into a real thing. Sadly, part 2 never came out as Squid Game's popularity started to die down, so there wasn't a need for me to do another chapter. Four. Country Ball Classroom Episode 1. The pilot episode of the Country Ball Classroom series. Did you know that this series was also unexpected? For this episode, this was originally just supposed to be a 60-second shorts video of the Philippines country ball memes as like a part 2 to the Salamat Pagi video. Then I got other ideas. The school setting would be better, so I made a 3-minute video about that. But then what if I turned this to a series? I saw a lot of potential for it to be popular, so I decided to make like a precursor video, which is the Country Balls Minecraft School. When I first released this video it was, well, dead. Then suddenly during late 2022 there was like a surge in views in terms of my country ball videos, so this series became a literal sleeper hit. It went from double its initial views that day in just a week, and the other episodes do so. Five. History of Thailand and Country Balls. Which is by far my second most viewed video excluding the Dumb Ways to Die one. You know, one thing I realized was that a lot of my popular videos came from 2021, which made me love that year so much in terms of my channel. This video followed the history of the Philippines one, and it was a very simple animation with humor, yet I tried to make it as informative as possible. And I was also going to do Indonesia right after that, but it's been 2 years yet nothing. I guess I just forgotten over time. Six. History of the Philippines and country balls. This one was a bit of a long video. It's my sole tribute to my country during its Independence Day and it turned out really well. These are one of those videos that I really wished got more views, but YouTube is always being an asshole to me, so what can I say? Seven. AFOSEA on Country Ball video call. This one. This was part of the very first 666 Halloween series. Since it was during the pandemic and I got so inspired of doing Country Ball's video call animations, I did my own spin to it. Then I had to think of a horror character. I was thinking to put Necrochina first, but I figured he wasn't as scary as I wanted him to be. So I thought deeper, and I realized Angeles Timur would be a very great fit. I did a rehaul on him with a more nightmarish appearance, with red glowing eyes, sharp teeth, with a knife. It was all set. Oh, and he's returning this year. Hee 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 hee. 8. Alternate Future of Oceania, Episode 5. AFOSEA is one of my favorite mapping series, and it's very different to my other mapping series just because it's more realistic in terms of events and time pacing. I just really wanted to do a take on making an environmentalist movement in the form of a mapping series, and this could spread awareness towards climate change and the rise of global sea levels. Why this episode though? Well, I don't really know Lamau. This was just a fun one to make, I guess. Besides this, the other episodes from AFOSEA that I love are episodes 7, 8, 9 and 15. It just hits differently. Country Ball Slender Forest Part 3. This one was part of my 666 Halloween specials for 2021. It was a unique one as well, since this was the first time I implemented multiple endings in my videos, where the viewer has to decide which decision to choose to get their own ending. This genre of YouTube videos is so underrated, and I feel so late in doing this since this was such a hit back around 2012 to 2014. But I really wanted to try it. I am looking forward to implement some kind of this to a mapping series, maybe in the future.
10. AFOSEA Season 2 Episode 10. This one is a unique episode for the series. For this one I decided to just make a whole episode with just war maps in it. Yeah, it's kinda boring, but I made it as a reminder to myself that I'm called KB Mapping for a reason. Skull. I'm thinking of rebranding again soon for obvious reasons. To be honest, I'm like the worst in maps, but I find it boring if I just keep implementing war maps in mapping videos, which sets me apart from a lot of mappers tbh. Plants vs Zombies 2 Demonstration Mini Game Mashup. This one. Let me tell you, I had a lot of fun on doing this video, because there's a very nostalgic feeling to it, as this was my second ever video in the channel. I've always wanted to make a remake of my old videos, and so I did. I actually made it into a cool mashup this time, no ear rape, and to my surprise it went very well for me. I gotta be honest, I listen to this myself sometimes.
12. Alternate History of Europe Episode 1. This one was a blast. I always wanted to do alternate history of Europe or Europe mappings in general, but it is too overused and overrated for my liking. I'm not really that interested towards Europe in terms of mapping, so I tend to disregard my Europe series once in a while. Back in 2022 I decided to try again. I used a script that a friend of mine has made back in 2020 and attempted to make another AHO incarnation since I didn't want it to go to waste. My Europe videos don't really get that much views since a lot of people do AHO already, so I figured that I would do something a bit unique for this one. For this one I focused heavily on the animation aspect. People don't really like country balls, but then that was literally the thing I was good at. So I decided to go for it, and it turned out a bit well than the other two incarnations. As for the fourth episode, well, I'm still deciding. alternate future of Halloween. This was a very unique series, as I took the fiction on this one to a whole new level. Inspired from horror characters and dark mythologies, I created a dark twist of an alternate future of the world series. For me, my favorite and interesting detail about this series is the date. I found it great to put October 31st before the year instead of just putting the year in there low. AFOSEA Season 2 Finale. For me, this is my most criminally underrated video. Like the Season 1 finale, it's long, but I didn't want it to be 40 minutes again since I know Season 2 wasn't really doing as well as Season 1, so the length of the episode was half of the Season 1 one. To be honest, for this one I kinda liked doing it more since I had a lot of time planning and preparing for it, and I had better resources to use. It was a little bit different than the previous season's ending, and this one it ended much more darker, literally. Everything got pretty much deleted. Overall, I loved how the animation turned out and I made sure there were no errors or flaws, something the AFOSEA Season 1 finale had, like lots. This video. No words. This one was a bit for the lulz, but why is this video here? Well, I mean, it's one of my fun series, and this is where I started to shift the course of my Country Ball animations, and later on we got Country Ball Classroom, Slender Forest, etc. "15. Well. This one. I think this is self-explanatory. Country Ball St. Patrick's Day. One of my recent works. This one I debuted my style of Country Ball comics, instead of doing a Country Ball animation. This one turned out really well, and I plan to make more Country Ball comics in the future. And last but not least, Europe as monarchies. I've always wanted to do this informative type of mapping videos but in a fun and creative way, and then I discovered this type of mapping videos that shows alternate versions of various countries. So I figured I would make my own spin on it. With monarchies. I hope I can be able to do another one of these soon. Well, that wraps up for the videos. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this celebration and be sure to stay tuned for more content. Peace.